Hey, so today I'm going to do a video that I wanted to do for a while, but I hadn't been able to get what I needed to do it. And I'm going to do like a small review, a small simple review of the book by David Goggins and Adam Skolnick called Can't Hurt Me. This is a book that is like 2 years old. It came out in 2018 and it's been very popular. It's like a motivation book, kinda. And also it's very popular with runners because David Goggins became an ultra runner. And he's an ultra runner right now, I think. But yeah, so this book has been recommended in many places. This has been recommended by the Marathon Training Academy podcast as a really motivating book. But I finally got it. I didn't get the book, I got the audiobook, which was, I think, it was just by luck that I got it instead of the regular book, and I think it was way better because it's like apart from being an audiobook, at the end of each chapter or even mid chapter, David Goggins and Adam Skolnick like discuss what is going on. They talk about what's happening. They talk about the challenges that I think the challenges are included in the book as well, but they talk about it and it's a more like complete experience. You get like different points of views and you get other parts of the story that are not in the book. So I think it's a very good idea to get in this case, to get the audiobook instead of the regular book. Also, what I did was to listen the full book just on my runs. So yeah, that's how I listened to it, and I think it was a very good experience. And it took me about 2 weeks. I didn't listen to it every day, just on my easy runs and on my long runs. So it was like 2 weeks of that to finish the book. The book is like a little bit over 13 hours long. So yeah, so as I said, this book is supposed to be like really motivating and stuff, but I didn't find it that really. I was thinking about how I was going to do this video because I want to do it like in a positive manner. And that's what I'm going to do, but while I was listening to it, I was like, yeah, this is not great. Just because you're listening to his story. Actually, in the audiobook, the whole story is read by Adam Skolnick, which, as I said, he actually wrote the book. He's like the ghostwriter. And then David Goggins and him comment in the other sections of the audiobook. But yeah, so you're listening to the story of David Goggins, and it's like he had a horrible childhood, and he overcame a lot of things. You know, he was very resilient, and at the end he achieved some great things. He overcame a lot of obstacles, like physically and mentally. But yeah, a lot of things happen. He goes through a lot, so I never just believe whatever I see or I read about. So I did just a little bit of research to see if like this was all actually real, and I thought it would be because by now someone would have said something. It would have come out that it's not like all true. But yeah, so I did a little bit of research about that. Because yes, I said a lot of things happen. It even reminded me of like Forrest Gump, right here. Because like he's like, oh, you know that famous video, I was there, or you know that person, oh, he trained with me while I was in the Navy. Yeah. So like a few things happen that it's like really like it's like a big coincidence that all of that happens in his life. But yeah, so in a way it is really motivating, the way he survived everything, the way he pushed himself, you know, as an athlete, as a runner, as a long distance runner. And as a person in general, you're like, wow, like if he did all of that, I should be able to do some of that as well. I should be able to achieve. I should be able to be better at what I want to do. At running in this case. Those were my favorite parts of the book when he was talking about the different races, like Badwater and Leadville. That I'm gonna do special videos about those in the future. And yeah, how he was actually really good at those races. He won a few. He has done, like he has said, that he has done over 60 ultras. Yeah, so that was really cool to hear. But also, he was in the Navy. He became a Navy SEAL. So he talks about his trainings and everything he had to do and suffer through to become a Navy SEAL, a person in the military. I don't know how you say that. So yeah, so that's all great. But truly, what he goes through, like, is a lot. You're listening to this and he really pushes himself, but like beyond what someone normal should. So it's not like, yeah, look, if you're like me, you can do everything. But yeah, he does a lot of things that you should not do. He trains a lot, like he does a lot of things while being hurt. He hurts himself a lot and goes through a lot of pain that you don't need to do. I don't know, like if you're an athlete and you're like read about what athletes do, like real athletes, like yeah, you have to train a lot, but you have to also to rest a lot and do everything you can to not get injured. Because you can get injured and then you make it worse, or you make worse one of your injuries. Your career can be over, or if it's not your career, if it's just like something you like to do, like me, you can like destroy that. And he just plows through everything, and he says that he doesn't sleep and he trains 20 hours a day, and he breaks his kneecaps and his feet, and he still continues training and running. And that's obviously something that you should never do. I didn't want to talk about this so much, but just now I forgot the name of the ghostwriter and I was looking for it. There was actually a question about, like, in Quora, about somebody asking if they should read the book or listen to the book, and the answer was like, you shouldn't do neither, because like it's really tough to read about this, and what he's doing is like self-destructive and it's not great. Like, you shouldn't do that. So yeah, I guess this is a different point of view. It's awesome that he went through so many things and got control of his life after how difficult it was at the beginning. And yeah, it's motivating, and we all know that a lot of times we don't try as hard as we should or we could to achieve what we want. Sometimes we get comfortable in some places, we get complacent, and we don't reach our potential. So yeah, it really made me think that I could and should try harder, but never to the point that you're like putting yourself in danger of whatever, putting yourself at risk of getting really injured or doing something that will spoil everything else. So at the end of the day, I think it's a really good book. Like, it was entertaining to listen to it. It was really cool to listen to him speak. And maybe for people that have really gone through many difficult things, it might be more relatable for like regular people that, even if you have goals and everything, you haven't really gone through like something like really horrible and tragic. It's a little weird, but yeah, I recommend it. That's my whole point at the end. It's entertaining, and it's a really cool story. He does a lot of things, as I said, he achieves a lot. But at the same time that I was listening this, I watched the documentary Free Solo, which is about a guy called Alex Honnold, who is like a mountain climber, but he does a lot of climbing without ropes or anything. And the documentary is about him trying to climb El Capitan, which is like a mountain, I don't know how you call it, a really tall flat mountain in a national park in the USA. And it's also really motivating because you know how he trains and everything, but what he's attempting is like crazy, like any mistake and he dies. So yeah, it's much more like a regular guy, but at the same time, like it's the same thing, that he's trying to push himself in a way and trying to do something that, I mean, it's really cool that he tried it, but it's not necessary. And I don't know, he's like all of his friends that are making the documentary and his girlfriend and everything, they're like really suffering because they're really worried that he might, you know, if he doesn't do it perfectly, you know, it's gonna be like certain death. But yeah, I saw it at the same time as I was listening to the book, and I really thought they related a lot to each other. And it's crazy how really David Goggins, what he did through a lot of years was really impressive. But what this guy Alex Honnold did in like one day is the most impressive thing I've seen. I hope he doesn't try to do it anymore. But I really recommend that documentary as well. It's really cool and they kind of relate to each other, and it's about really overachieving. And well, that's it. I hope you like this review, and I'll see you later.